What do you mean that's a teenager? That boy puts Liver King to shame. Call him the Puff Pastry Commander. Hey, it's your local Mr. Panda. The year was May of 2022. I was scrolling on my phone in a state of semi-comatose, like people do, and right there on TikTok, I saw a muscular coconut head showing ridiculous feats of strength while being surrounded by wizards.
Nice.
Little did I know, this one encounter not only influenced my next year of manga reading,
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
but giving one of the hands-down best experiences I've had with shonen in the last few years. Of course, I'm talking about Mashle, Magic and Muscles, a compendium of magic, fantasy, and fat stack gains. As of July 3rd, 2023, Mashle the manga has released its final chapter. Now that this great titan of a manga has ended, I only have one real question out there. Did this manga have any right to be this good?
Hey, that's pretty good.
Where so many shonens have the same generic story milestones and tropes, Mashle doesn't get rid of them, but takes them to a back burner to get a message out there that a lot of other mangas don't really try to push out more forward speaking in terms of character development. And just to forewarn, for anyone catching up with the manga or watching the anime, this will have spoilers, so if you don't want to watch that, click off now. To get into the nitty and gritty, Mash is a young man who was abandoned on the street as a baby due to being born without the ability to use magic. But not really, they gave the old bait and switch, and he was actually an escaped child from a crazy cult leader. Bro found a way out faster than ex-Mormons when they turned 18. What a legend. Being without magic is a big taboo in this world, but another outcast of society and Mash's adopted father Regro finds a young Mash and raises him in the woods so that they can have a simple life, and so Mash does not get lobotomized like all the other non-magic folk. Little does Regro know that he awakened a sleeping giant inside of Mash when he taught him to exercise and made this man's a menace to every door in this universe. You know, this is a really simple choice. Subscribing. It really helps me out. Go ahead and click that button down below. It will act as a single fist bump every time you subscribe for Panda over there because he loves himself some good fist bumps, and it helps us go towards our 10k sub goal. I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. Let's get back into it. The characterization of Mash is a very unemotional type of person, and even when he is emoting, it is with a stone face look of disinterest. Throughout the story, the one thing that Mash can rely on, besides the fact that he is the most socially awkward and yet most rizzed up character in the whole show, is his muscles. He has been trained to such a degree that the motherfucker ends up going toe to toe with any kind of magic in the show. He ends up beating a man that can control time itself, and yet his rock hard abs are just no match to any magical person in this manga. Now, I had a great affinity. I really related to the show a lot, so there was a question in my mind. Who exactly is this mangaka that made such an amazing title?
Minute. Who are you?
I found my answer when I was reading a Shonen Jump on the toilet, as every good person do. If you don't read manga on the toilet, I don't trust you personally. His name is Hajime Kumoto, and I apologize in advance for my white-ass pronunciation. It just is what it is. Not much is known about this fascinating writer and illustrator, but we do know a couple of things. Based on Mash's characterization, he clearly took some inspiration from Saitama's character in the very popular One Punch Man, and based on what he can be credited for, he's a very relatively new mangaka in the manga space. As far as I could find, he has only a work dating back to 2018, but if Mashle is a look at the ability and talent of a single person, then I can honestly say that I'm looking forward to his next work, because I think Mashle is a near perfect story. Let me break down a few reasons why I find the story so amazing. Typically in comedy, you either have a straight man in a crazy world or you have a crazy person within a normal world. And while you could technically classify Mash as a straight man and the world is very crazy being of magic, the amount of strength Mash has and how he uses it makes his actual ability way crazier than anything inside the world of magic. So it's more of a play of the main character having the facade of a straight man, while it's really two types of crazy colliding together, and Mash just tries to gaslight everyone into thinking he's normal in any way, which works because no one wants to mess with a guy that can eat any kind of magic with a straight ass face and just keep walking like he's the T-1000 model. To actually get into more of the story, Mash ends up at the Magic academy when he is discovered by the police as a non-magic person. Given the opportunity to live, Mr. I'm here to push the story cop man gives Mash an ultimatum, one that's letting him live a very comfortable life as long as he gets a prestigious title at the school, which gives a large payout where they could all live comfortably. Mash, wanting nothing but a quiet life, agrees and proceeds to intimidate his way through the entry exam without a speck of suspicion, obviously.
30分。つまりこの試験の合格基準はこの魔法を解き文字を成立させることにある。動かれると困るんだけど。動かれると困るんだけど。
Now, Mash, of course, is ostracized throughout the manga for his odd personality and due to the fact that while no one can prove he can't use magic, the idea that he is convincing them is dubious at best. I feel like a perfect example of that early in the manga is when he tries to bury the Vice Dean alive for the Vice Dean trying to reprimand him for something he absolutely did to another student.
I don't like where this is going.
To be fair, that is a very convincing argument on why Mash is right. I too would rather let Mash be right than to be buried not only alive, but into the stone flooring of the school. Just imagining it, you just become one of those ghosts from Harry Potter at that point immediately. Like 10 minutes later, he's just phasing through a wall and he's like, how did I die? I have no idea. Mash meets a variety of characters and antagonists in the story, but to be honest, in my personal opinion, the villains inside the story really only serve to prove how ridiculous Mash is more than really push the story forward. Where the true story progresses is when the main antagonist finally shows up, when Mash is finally giving an opportunity to push the story towards the actual goal he set out to do to give a comfortable life for him and his father. Because what is a shonen without a tournament arc? Mash takes part in an exam that helps select the Divine Visionary. It is a title that he is trying to get, and it is a mark of being one of the best wizards in current era, and thus will let them live in peace. During said exam, the event gets interrupted by a magical terrorist group, a development never seen in a manga or anime before. I said never seen in a manga or anime before. I said never seen in a manga or anime. But the attack begins and everyone does their best to defend themselves. And that's when we see him, the big bad guy, Orochimaru. Wait, no, I mean Voldemort. Nope, wrong again. I mean Innocent Zero, a crazed cult leader that seemingly already knows who Mash is. And that is when they have the big reveal. Mash's real father is Innocent Zero. Not that Mash really believes that, nor cares, but that is the reveal there. Not only that, but all the followers of Innocent Zero are Mash's brothers, who gave away an essential part of their body to help Innocent Zero's ultimate goal of eternal life. You know, I'm not even gonna say it at this point. Unable to defend himself against straight up time magic, Mash is protected by Dumbledore. Wait, no, I was right this time. So not Dumbledore and Innocent Zero battle it out to face off against their ideals, since both were trained by the greatest wizard that ever lived, one who basically set the standard for what wizarding is to today's era. It is then revealed that Innocent Zero has the ability to restructure his body to steal other people's magic, and he had already stole his master's magic, darkness magic. Along with his time magic, he's going after Wahlberg's, which is the actual name of the dean, his space magic. So basically, he is one of the few people who has more than one type of magic. I feel like I've heard that before. You know, I do love this manga, but it is a little bit of a mash. Get it? Get it?
Boom, pow.
Of inspirations here for one villain, and I do fuck with it quite a bit. This man is a Frankenstein of so many villains that he's a straight up Avengers level threat to this universe. I feel like one of the things that the series does very well is give an amazing gauge on just how powerful Mash truly is. And mind you, this manga is super cheeky. There's so much comedy thrown into amazing action scenes that you can't help but feel like we're just watching Saitama in a Halloween costume get lost inside of another dimension. But even with that level of comparison, I think Mash has a lot of original feelings and actions, and on top of that, he has very specific motives, and I think that's where his character really solidifies into a more complex perspective. No matter how jarring the attitude in battle or his ritualistic way of making cream puffs, like bro, do you not eat any protein? Mash always makes his intentions pretty clear. He cares about his father a lot, and he deeply cares for his friends that he's made along the way, and he just wants to live a simple life. His motives are so straightforward that he's the most relatable character you can find out there, because I don't know a single person that doesn't want to take the kind of lifestyle Mash wants, or even understand that feeling of having obstacles in your way in front of the lifestyle that you're trying to live. The most fantastic things about this shonen is the fact that I feel like it tells a very straightforward and uncomplicated story to center around around the desires of happiness and feelings of being discriminated against. This manga is absolutely hammy. Joke fest of a manga with all the classic shonen humor and overall silliness. It absolutely is. But like other funny things in life, not everything on the surface is what it seems. While being the most ridiculous kind of comedy out there, Hajime Komodo finds a way to make a statement on prejudice that doesn't feel completely shoehorned. Discrimination towards the leads is a very common and often easy way for shonens to give motivation to a character, but it doesn't ever particularly feel like that's what drives Mash's narrative. The happiness of himself and his loved ones is his pure motivations, and because he lives in a world that is discriminatory to the person he is, it feels more like the world is reacting to Mash and having its own narrative of good and bad. Society is indicting him based on how the world works, and Mash just deals with it. It was a really refreshing story with great comedy and action to see the discrimination be put as a back burner and not a main force of push. The only question I really have left for this amazing story is what more stories are we going to get out of this incredible mangaka? It was such a refreshing story because at the end, the lesson was about the discrimination, but it wasn't the main purpose of Mash doing what he did. It was just the result of his actions. And that really made me emphasize on, I can't wait for the next manga from this guy to come out. It's going to be so amazing. And I think that even if it's just a fun manga, I don't want to put pressure on that, but he's just an amazing writer and he gives really good storytelling. And so I'm excited for his next thing. I hope you guys are too. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, poke this box up here to watch another great video. I have a lot of great content on my channel and I hope you guys are coming back for more. But until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful day.